Hey, it's Ian. It's time for another wrestling review. Samoa Joe is currently AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I think it's a good time to go back to one of my favourite matches he ever had. Back in there, a match he had with Necro Butcher, which back in like 20 odd plus years ago, oh crazy, it was like the most underground match you could possibly imagine. It's one of those ones where YouTube free coming into its own, and you find matches like this that were in like really independent promotions. I mean, this wasn't even TNA or Ring Wrong. This was like IWA, I think. And it's a match, like kind of a dream match, really, because Necro Butcher had a reputation back then of being one of the most insane wrestlers imaginable. He's obviously one of the CZW legends. This was before he even got Ring Wrong for the Cage of Death match. I think this was you for that match. That's obviously one I covered earlier in this sort of channel. And the appeal for this match was basically Samoa Joe, who was in the midst, I believe, of his Ring of Honor title reign, which was like 2 years long, who really cemented as one of the best wrestlers on the planet and also a dangerous striker, versus Neck Butcher, who was actually crazy. I mean, this guy was abyss times 10. Like, Necro was genuinely seemed unhinged. So they finally had this match, and everyone was like, oh, it's going to be insane. And you had CM Punk and Eddie Kingston on commentary, which is crazy in retrospect, because, you know, the fact that they both became gigantic stars. I think this might have been just before CM Punk actually left the Indies for WWE. And so they're on commentary, and they're marking out, because this is one of the most violent matches of all time. Genuinely horrifically violent, but in a way where it's like fascinating to watch and also really, really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, somebody's about to say Necro takes a goddamn bump on his head, which is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. You can literally see blood splatter on the ground, so in some ways it is kind of close to a wrestling equivalent for Snuff movie, because it's just unbelievably violent. But on the other hand, it's got a big match feel that you don't really have that often in wrestling. And ironically, Joe would have the same year, he'd have a big match with Ken Kobashi, which was just as big a big match feel in a different way. Obviously, Ken Kobashi being a legend in Japanese wrestling, in wrestling in general. But Necro at this point was a legend in sort of deathmatch wrestling. And I think what also gets you is the fact that never quite clear whether these guys generally don't like each other and they're just outright shooting, or whether they're both so... I mean, Joe particularly has always been amazing. Like Bryan Danielson said, wrestling Joe, it was less painful than working other guys. Looks painful, isn't painful. But this match, like, some of these shots they're throwing look genuinely painful and dangerous. But at the same time, like, they're both still alive. Like, so, you know, it's crazy. But I think some of the spots in this match are genuinely, like, people who talk about Darby Allin doing crazy stuff. Like, I mean, he has nothing on Necro. Necro's, the T-bone suplex off the apron onto concrete is one of the scariest bumps I've ever seen in my life. Some of the bumps on guardrails, like, there's no gimmick nature to these. It's, like, just unbelievable that Necro can even walk 20 years later, let alone, like, seemingly he's okay. I mean, I'm sure he had ailments, but it really does make you think, like, there was no obvious path for Necro in something like WWE, especially back then. But if AEW was around back then, he might have actually been able to make go on the national stage. I mean, he did get Ring of Honor later on. But as a precursor to like CZW Ring of Honor stuff in like 2006, this is great. I mean, it's generally like, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I think if you're into the idea of like a hybrid between deathmatch wrestling and Japanese strong style, this is a match for you. I can't show any of it. Well, I could, and at some point I hope to possibly have it on my channel and do like commentary throughout the whole match. But if you're looking for a really good wrestling match, a really good brawl from back in the day to watch, definitely recommend it. But if you're squeamish, don't, you know. But it is definitely a classic of the time. And especially back in the day, we didn't really get that much like big time crossover stuff. Seeing like ZCW legend versus Ring of Honor legend, like stars of both companies collide in a different promotion, was fantastic. It literally was the forbidden door back then. And also, if you can, check out some of Necro Butcher's other matches from around that time, because they had a really good one with Loki and a great one with Bryan Danielson. Obviously not to this extent, because nothing be this violent, but really good matches too, especially Danielson one. Like, seeing Danielson work that style is really, really cool. So yeah, definitely, if you like forgotten matches with deathmatch legends, definitely check this out. I think it's on the IWA page, YouTube page. So check out. I definitely gets my 5 out of 5, but again, at some point I would do a commentary on this match and put it on channel. So yay.